Jamie from Inky and Scrappy, sharing with you today another infinity shaker using that same MFT image from You Have My Heart. Let's talk about some paper and spray inks today. But first, welcome back to all of my subscribers. If you're new here, please consider subscribing as it helps the channel grow and alerts you when new videos go up on the channel. So I was actually on a video chat with Kate from @KatesCraft. And we were just, talking about life in general. And so I was working on my backgrounds for the card series I was currently working on. This one I did do the other image on one for the Crescent Creations YouTube channel and on my channel. And so this was kind of where I was kind of going with it. And so my first one, of course, I forgot to push play. And so I was like, okay, I need to make another one. So I grabbed another random piece of paper off of my desk that was cut at an A2 size. And I was like, this just isn't moving right. And it was fine. It was red and it had some color and some blotch to it. But I was like, I need to pull out some of the Distress heavy stock or mixed media stock, whatever it's called. And that's what this piece is. So paper totally matters when it comes to doing spray inks and all the things. I actually was using my new, I picked up from Ranger on Black Friday, like way early in the morning at like 5 a.m. when I was milking cows. They had the bundle of lumberjack plaid on sale. It was like super cheap. It was like $27 for the whole bundle. So I picked it up. I really didn't need it because I already had the ink pads. But I like playing with spray inks and I loved the red. So I ended up picking it up. And so that's what I ended up using was the lumberjack plaid spray inks. I think it was just the Distress spray stain. And then of course I brought in that red mica. I think it was peppermint stick this year or last year's mica spray stain to add some glimmer and shimmer to it. So if you are not having luck with spray stains or even doing some ink smooshing with your oxides, paper really does matter when it comes to working with those Distress oxide inks. I just kind of always forget to use my Distress paper just because heavy stock, because it's not the first thing that's on my desk, because it's just not one that I use a lot, because I don't do a whole lot of that ink smooshing and or backgrounds like this. And so yes, that one right there is definitely Distress heavy stock. You see how you get the color variations, you get the ink to move, you get it to splatter and speckle and all of those things. And then the other one that I did was just, I'm guessing it was probably Neenah 80-pound or 110-pound or maybe even Accent Opaque, which it still has some of that, but it doesn't give you those white spaces like the other one did. So it just works easier with Distress heavy stock. I am using some shaker bits from Crescent Creations here, and then some just glitter that I picked up at, I think, Walmart to fill in my infinity shakers here. You saw that I did remember to cut the corners on this one. This was filmed all on the same day that I did my other infinity, or maybe it wasn't. No, these ones were filmed when I did my last ones with the globes. But I did remember that I needed to snip the corners on my infinity shakers, so they did work a lot better this time. And I did use that super wide score tape to just cover the whole back of that panel, and then using a tape runner around the edges so it all lays down nice and flat. I don't have to worry about anything sneaking out the sides this way. And that way, when your paper is warped from ink smooshing, that double-sided adhesive really does work well to get it to lay super flat. And then I will do the same thing with this one. I'm just going to switch up my shaker bits on this one. I ended up using those iridescent multi-size sequences, and then of course those clay bits in red, white, and pink for my inside shaker bits on this one. So both of these are going to look fairly similar. I end up doing one in landscape and one in portrait. And so it kind of shows you that the same image can be used in multiple ways. And multiple landscapes. They both turned out very nice. I love the shaker, infinity shakers. They're so super fast and easy compared to irregular. Not that regular shakers are that hard. They just a little bit more work when it comes to the double-sided foam adhesive and such. And these mail a lot better, at least thickness-wise. So if that's one of the reasons you don't do shakers, infinity shakers are kind of fun. So I ended up die cutting with, I have a set of heart nested stacks with the stitching. I don't know where they came from. I have no clue. So it's just a random stitched heart die cut that I used. That Simple Stories, You Are Here cardstock, because the blue green on that one went with the blue greens on my coloring on the pockets on the little girl holding the heart for this one. And if you wanted to see the coloring for those images, I have one of those colored on a previous video for the Crescent Creations Design Team Challenge. And this one is actually, that heart is actually dark blue. You cannot tell at all. It kind of looks black on screen, at least for me. On my computer screen, it looks kind of black from here. But that one was that deep dark blue. I want to say it's the Outdoor Denim, maybe, from Close to My Heart. I don't even know if they make that one anymore. It was one of my favorite blues, along with the lighter blue that goes with it, which is Indian Corn Blue, which I absolutely love that shade of blue. I'm a blue girl, what can I say? So this one was kind of hindsight. I probably should have done this before I added my shaker bits. I just ended up making sure all my shaker bits were on the top of my infinity shaker here, and I'm going to stamp on my plastic. So I am bringing in that StazOn black ink, and I have found that if you put the sticky stuff, what is that called? The press and seal wrap on top of your shaker lid. I had gotten rid of the plastic piece years ago, and every time I would use it, I'd have to re-ink it because it would be dry. And so I went and did that. Somebody else I watched had done the press and seal on one of their inks or something. And I was like, oh, I bet that would work with my StazOn. So that's what I do, and it actually works pretty good. I haven't inked it for a while. I haven't used StazOn for a long time. So that's my hot tip for you today. A, use the correct paper when you're trying to do your ink smooshing, and press and seal for your StazOn ink pad will help keep it moist, I guess. And then for my second one here, I am just doing some embossing in some white embossing powder using Brutus Monroe's Alabaster White. And this is me being super lazy. I did not get a piece of paper to, make my adding embossing powder to my stamped image any easier. I also did not dry off my stamp very good in between cleaning it, because I do clean it with a StazOn ink remover, and I didn't get it all off the little nooks and crannies. So if you saw that it was darker in a couple of spots, that's because it was still probably a little bit of solvent cleaner on there. It worked okay. I let it slide. I've been letting a lot of things slide lately. And so I will end up cutting that out with the Lawn Fawn Simple, I think there's some Simple Sentiment strips. And then I'm just going to add this with some double-sided tape runner. And I'm going to tuck this in behind there so you can't see the edge of it. It just kind of goes beyond the little sheet there, and it finishes off that card just like so. So you got the shaker bits in the background and some more simpler cards. I promise I'll get back into doing some more elaborate cards as this year progresses, because this one is the first one of the new year. Happy New Year! Have a great one and keep getting inky. Bye!